shall we talk about the drama? So to give a little bit of context. So last Friday was the Genshin Impact 4.4 live stream. You know, the 30-minute live stream where they typically tell you what's getting released next. Usually it's a new map, new characters, new banners, new events, the typical stuff. But one content creator decided the content was not enough. So they decided to create a bit of content on their own. Mr. Ziox over here. But who knew one simple sentence can have a chain effect? So initially it involves two content creators. Mr. Doro44. You might have seen him around if you play Genshin Impact. If you don't play Genshin Impact, you might have also seen him around because he's in Genshin ads. His reactions towards live streams usually very positive. Like, look at him. Like, that's the face Hu Tao makes when you tell her somebody has died. Very happy. Now we have Tectone over here. Not very happy. Looks like he's going through it a bit. So it's like two sides of a magnet, right? You have the positive side and the negative side. This is meant to be a little bit of tease, you know? But the comments, like this one. Can I ask you a genuine question? Do you believe that there is toxic positivity aspect that many have brought up? And if not, do you think being sponsored helps? Because if you cannot be honest, will things ever change? I mean this question with actual sincerity. You know, not everybody agrees that being positive is a good thing. And you know, as a content creator, sometimes things get to you. So, you know, some people are just not happy with content creators that is expressing their love for the game, even though there are negatives. And then Tectone decides to, and this is Tectone's reply to the tweet. One guy is coping, the other one is bald. You know, so we have like both sides of the coin, the positives in the game and the other, obviously the negatives. And we have other content creators supporting it, like Mr. Braxophone here, one of the guide creators, now in a deleted tweet because then you have the other side supporting the positives that have also been receiving a bit of heat. You know, you have one side saying that you should not be too positive about the game, but you also have the other side saying that the opinions of people that actually express criticism about the game is also valid. Honestly, both sides are valid, but sometimes it gets a bit too heated because everybody is just dead set on their opinion and is just unwilling to move. Coincidentally, 4.4 happens during Lunar New Year, a very celebrated holiday in China. And as a Chinese company, you would expect that Hoyoverse would give some sort of rewards to the community. Well, they did. You get 3 fates for their 3-year anniversary. Just a reminder, you need 10 fates for a 10 pull. People don't do single pulls, okay? Single pulls is not a thing. People usually do 10 pulls. So you get 3 out of 10 for 3 years. And obviously, the community isn't just gonna sit there and take it. So they do one thing they are really good at, review bombing the game. The rating for the game has been going down. It will probably go back up. Give it a month. And the 3 fates aren't the only thing that got announced during the 4.4 live stream, right? They have also announced that there are 3 new skins coming. So Genshin players thought you would be able to pick one of the 3 skins. But no, you will only get to pick the skin if you have bought a PS5. So now, on top of the 3 fates, this made people very, very angry. And now people are starting to compare Genshin Impact to Honkai Star Rail. And Honkai Star Rail has just given a 5-star character to literally anybody that has logged into the game. Something that Genshin has never done before. So now, not only do you have the divide between Genshin Impact players, you also have the divide between Genshin players and Honkai Star Rail players. Not only do we have civil war, but we have civil war within the civil war. Obviously, Honkai Star Rail players starts memeing on the Genshin players, the typical stuff. And then Bwop also steps in. The Chinese TikTok for Genshin Impact has also lost millions of followers due to that. It's minus 4 million now. Honestly, can I ask one genuine question? Does this actually do anything? The impact might not be as big as people think it is. You get money from views. I genuinely do not think Genshin really cares about the money they get from the views. The impact, I mean, to be fair, this is like not the first time they have done something like this, right? You have the John Lee incidents, and you've also had the 1st-year anniversary incident, right? What was the 1st-year anniversary again? I think before they changed it to 10 pulls. Was it even 10 pulls? I forgot. It was 40 Primo Gems. Was it really 40 Primo Gems? I don't even remember. It was so bad, I just kind of erased it from my memory. Do you guys remember the 1 billion Primo Gem incident where they gave out 1 billion Primo Gems in total to every player, but not every player got the same amounts? You would get between like 90 Primo Gems, and if you were really lucky, you would get like 218. It was not a set amount, it was a range. That was kind of insane. I can't even imagine how the conversation could have went. Let's give out 1 billion Primo Gems in total to celebrate our success. And then somebody must have said equal amounts, equal amounts, right? 1 billion divided by all the players. That's a pretty good amount. And then somebody unironically said, no, we'll make that a gacha as well. We will set the range between 90 to 900. Okay, too high. 288. And if you get 90, that's a skill issue. Those were good times. And I cannot believe they are about to give us another banger of a time. So obviously, the entire community is basically on fire at this point. So now players are even spamming in the special program for Honkai Star Rail about how they lost 1 million followers in a day. This is just for Genshin Impact. Now it's bleeding on to Honkai Star Rail. And do you know what Genshin players are gonna probably do after this? I think we're missing something. I think it's time to review bomb Google Classroom. It's just another day in the Genshin Impact community. Let's just get it over with, you know? Sometimes I genuinely feel like Genshin Impact players are just so pent up on anger. They have nowhere to release it because Hoyoverse does not listen. So they shove all their anger onto the first thing they can think of, which is Google Classroom for some reason. If Ziox didn't feel like he was bored during that day, maybe this wouldn't have happened. I don't know if this is a norm for gacha games because Genshin is my first gacha game. It's not my first gacha game, obviously. You see like gacha ads, but it's like the first time I've played a gacha game extensively. I have never seen a game where you judge a patch by how much free shit you get. Because if you think about it, in other games, like let's say like Valorant or like League or like an MMO, what is in a patch, right? What's in a patch? Class rebalances, character rebalances, maybe new raid. Like rewards are like secondary, right? Rewards are the secondary and changes to the system is the main thing people are looking forward to. Okay, will my class be really good this patch? Will my class be really bad this patch? Will this raid give me a lot of good stuff this patch? That is what I expected when I hear like Genshin patches. But I've never seen a community judging how good a patch is by how much free stuff they get. Because on one hand, you have people that is satisfied with the current, we could say formula. Because if you think about it, Genshin Impact has a formula for every single patch. It doesn't even matter if it's like a really big patch like a new region releases, right? It has that same formula. You have a release of new character, and every now and then a new region or new part of the map unlocks. New domain every 2 patches or so, 3 patches or so. Weekly boss every like 3 patches during a major patch, and maybe a new events map opens up. Do you see what I mean? It's very formulaic. I'm not agreeing with Tectone about how much he bashes the game, but I see where it comes from. He wants the formula to change. Does that make sense? He doesn't want the same formula. Doro is just happy to see new things, I guess. Like Tectone wants the system to change, but it's not gonna change. Let's be honest. It's not gonna change. The formula works. There's no competitors. It takes time and effort to change the formula, and you don't know if it has a negative or positive effect. So you just keep it the same. It's a rough situation for everyone, to be honest. Not everything is black or white. Like the game has its negatives, but I feel like everyone has heard so much of the negatives that it's starting to sort of become redundant and annoying. It's just annoying to hear the same thing over and over again, knowing that it will not change. Would you say Genshin is a game? I would say Genshin is closer to a game like Animal Crossing or like The Sims more than a game like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild or Elden Ring or Dark Souls. It's meant for casual? Yeah, I know. It's built that way. The devs aren't stupid. People who genuinely think the devs for this game are stupid don't know what they're talking about. Like, the devs are not stupid. They're not gonna change what works. They're not gonna change the formula if they have no competitors and if it works. Why change what works? Why spend all this time and effort to change what works? At the end of the day, it's a business. There are other gacha games that have worse rates like 300 to guarantee a character. Just because something is shittier doesn't mean this isn't shit. Does that make sense? You cannot invalidate that something is shit by giving a shittier example. I don't know. I just find the entire situation really funny. Like, I just imagine all of this started just because Ziox was bored during the stream and decided to stir up the pot a bit. And then it just cascaded into this big thing.